The blood on her face is not her own. Brenia is 26 years old, and she can feel it drying in the cold wind, can taste copper when her lips crack open, can smell the smoke from her burning village, mixing with the iron salt scent of the massacre that ended 3 hours ago. She was, until sunrise this morning, queen of the Nervii, wife of King Boduognatus, mother of 2 sons, priestess of the sacred grove, the most powerful woman in a nation of warriors who had never been conquered. Now she kneels in the mud beside 600 other women, her royal torque ripped from her neck, her ceremonial robes torn to expose her body to the February wind, her wrists bound behind her back with rope that cuts into flesh every time she moves. Around her, Roman soldiers move through the prisoners with the efficiency of men who have done this many times before, separating the young from the old, the beautiful from the plain, the valuable from the disposable. And they are coming for her. She knows this because a Roman officer has been watching her since the sorting began. He stands apart from the common soldiers, his armor marking him as a legatus, a legion commander, one of the most powerful men in the Roman military hierarchy. His face is handsome in the way that predators are handsome, sharp and composed, and utterly without mercy. He has not spoken to her. He has not approached. He has simply watched, and his watching is worse than anything the common soldiers might do. He begins walking toward her now. This one. His Latin is crisp, educated, the accent of Roman aristocracy. The queen, bring her to my tent. Have her cleaned, but not clothed. I want to examine what we've captured. A soldier moves to grab her. She does not resist. Resistance here means death, and death means abandoning her sons, who are somewhere in this chaos, who might still be alive if she can find a way to protect them. But as she is lifted to her feet, she sees something that stops her heart. Her husband's head, mounted on a Roman spear, displayed at the edge of the prisoner compound where every captured Nervian can see what happened to their king. Boduognatus is dead. The man she has loved since childhood, the father of her children, the king who swore to protect their people dead and displayed like a trophy for Roman entertainment. She does not scream. She does not weep. She locks the grief somewhere deep inside her, somewhere it cannot interfere with what she must do next, because now she understands something that changes everything. She is the last authority of the Nervii. With Boduognatus dead, she is not merely a captured queen, she is the vessel of her nation's sovereignty, the keeper of its sacred knowledge, the only person alive who knows where the tribe's treasury is hidden, where the Druids concealed the artifacts that must never fall into Roman hands, where her sons were sent when the battle turned against them. The Romans do not know this yet. They see only a queen valuable as a trophy, useful as a hostage, entertaining as a conquest. They do not know what they have actually captured, and she intends to use that ignorance to destroy them. What you are about to learn has been systematically excluded from the histories that celebrate Rome's conquest of the barbarian north. The historians who documented Julius Caesar's Gallic Wars focused on battles and strategies, on the genius of Roman military organization, on the civilizing mission that supposedly justified the conquest of peoples who had lived freely for centuries. They recorded casualty figures in the hundreds of thousands, entire nations destroyed, populations enslaved, cultures erased from the earth. But they did not record what happened to the women. Tonight, you will learn what Roman legions actually did when they conquered tribal peoples. You will learn about the systematic processing of captured women, the hierarchies that determine their fates, the specific horrors reserved for the wives of defeated chiefs who represented the highest value captures. You will learn about Brenia, queen of the Nervii, who watched her husband's head mounted on a Roman spear and decided in that moment that she would not merely survive, she would find a way to make Rome pay for what it had done. Subscribe if you want to understand the true cost of Rome's conquests. Comment below telling me where you are watching from. Because Brennea is about to enter the tent of Legatus Gaius Cornelius Scipio, and what happens in that tent will determine whether she lives or dies, whether her sons survive or perish, whether the Nervi have any future at all. But I need to warn you about something first. This story does not go where you expect it to go. There will be moments when you think you understand what is happening. There will be moments when you think you know who the villains are and who the heroes are. There will be moments when you think the ending is obvious. You will be wrong. Because what Roman legions did to the wives of defeated tribal chiefs was more complicated than simple brutality. It was a system, and systems can be manipulated by people who understand them. Brennea understood systems, and she was about to demonstrate what that understanding could accomplish. The tent of Legatus Gaius Cornelius Scipio was larger than the house Brennea had grown up in. Canvas walls enclosed a space that contained furniture, carpets, bronze lamps, a writing desk covered with maps and documents, all the apparatus of Roman military administration, transported across hundreds of miles so that a commander could maintain civilized comfort while destroying civilizations. She was brought inside by soldiers who positioned her at the tent's center, then withdrew to guard positions by the entrance. She was alone with the legatus. Scipio circled her slowly, examining her the way he might examine a horse he was considering purchasing. "The Queen of the Nervi," he said, "wife of Bodognatus, who killed 3,000 of my men before we brought him down. Mother of 2 sons who have apparently vanished, we're still searching." He stopped in front of her, his eyes meeting hers. "And priestess of your people's sacred grove. That's the detail that interests me most." She said nothing. Let him talk. Let him reveal what he knew and what he didn't. "The Druids performed their rituals in that grove," he continued. "They kept records there, artifacts, treasures accumulated over centuries. My scouts found the grove, or what was left of it after your people burned it, but they found nothing of value, just ash and bones." Still, she said nothing, which means the Druids moved their treasures before we arrived. And the only people who would know where they moved them are the Druids themselves, who died defending the grove, or the king who is decorating a spear outside, or the queen. He smiled. I am a woman. The Druids did not share their secrets with women. The Druids made exceptions for queens who were also priestesses. Your people's own traditions confirm this. You were initiated into mysteries that ordinary women were forbidden to know. He was well informed, too well informed. Someone had told him things that only a Nervian would know. "What do you want?" she asked. "I want the Druid treasures. I want the tribal treasury that your husband hid before the battle. I want the location of your sons, who are heirs to a throne that no longer exists but who might still be useful as hostages." He paused. "And I want you to cooperate willingly, rather than requiring persuasion. And if I refuse, then I persuade you. There are methods that work on almost everyone, given enough time and creativity. I would prefer not to damage you. Undamaged queens are more valuable, but I will if necessary. What do you offer in exchange for cooperation?" The question surprised him. She saw it in the slight shift of his expression. He had expected pleas, or defiance, or silence. He had not expected negotiation. "You are not in a position to negotiate. Everyone is always in a position to negotiate. I have information you want. You have power over my survival and my children's survival. That is the basis for a transaction. The transaction is simple. You tell me what I want to know, or I hurt you until you tell me. That transaction destroys the value of what I'm offering. Torture produces unreliable information. People say whatever will stop the pain. If you want accurate locations for treasures and children, you need my genuine cooperation, not words extracted through suffering." Scipio studied her with new interest. "You've thought about this. I had 3 hours in the mud watching your soldiers sort prisoners. That is a long time to think. What do you want in exchange for the information? My sons' lives. Not their freedom, I know, that is impossible, but their lives.